Hello mamas, welcome to today's class. So today we're going to be working on opening ourselves up and embracing change. Change can be difficult, right? Maybe we're afraid of the uncertainty of the new. Maybe we're very attached to our present situation or a present maybe job, our identity as a mother, or our identity as a certain role that we currently have that might be up for change. Maybe it's that fear of not being in control. I struggle with that one a lot. But change is truly the only constant. And it is constantly happening all around us in the world. A wonderful way, that we can notice these changes is being in nature. And if you watch, like if you have a garden or a plant, or even just watching the weather where you are, right? It is shifting, it's moving through the seasons. And this is also happening to us as well. And now we sort of have these habitual actions, that we probably do day in, day out. And this sort of creates this place where we're thinking we're sort of doing the same things every day. But if we can give space to sort of notice these sweet transitions in between the things that we're doing, we give space to notice the changes around. This sort of change is happening within us all of the time. And so we're going to practice on today a little bit in our yoga class on something different. We're going to practice bringing the attention and awareness to the transitions. So not necessarily the pose within itself, right? In yoga, lots of times when you practice, and even when I practice, I like to we focus on sort of the pose, the final formation, or let's say the final expression of each pose that we're doing. And today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this transition between poses. And can we keep that awareness? Can we keep the body engaged? What do we do with the breath? And this will maybe help you reflect a little bit on your life, right? What do you do through the transitions? What do you do, or how do you handle, the space sort of in between your big chunks? Are you aware? Are you noticing the changes that are shifting around you? Are you noticing the changes that are shifting within you? Or are we being stuck and holding on to maybe a certain identity or maybe past beliefs? Right? These are just all questions for reflection. And so with that, we will see how we can bring a little bit more openness and embracing the change within ourselves throughout our yoga practice here on our mats today. Excellent. So we're going to be seated, and we're going to start just focusing a little bit on the breath. So if you feel hips are a little bit tight, feel free to grab a blanket, a bolster, anything to gently lift the hips up, slightly tilt them forward, bringing the spine into natural alignment, letting the palms rest on the thighs and closing the eyes here. And we're just going to take a moment to settle, feeling the sit bones rooting into the ground, lengthening up through the spine. Crown is reaching for the sky. And just begin to notice your breath, the ebb and flow. And really taking a moment to consider that each inhale is a new inhale. different from the last inhale, bringing new air, new oxygen, new life within to the body, as well as each exhale is changing, releasing different air from the body. Maybe different quantities, maybe a slightly different length. And just noticing the breath, noticing each part of the breath for what it is, for what it's doing. Noticing how your breath feels in this moment and really noticing, right? It's probably different, or it's definitely different than the way the breath was yesterday. The more you practice breathing with awareness, the more your breath will change. And it's when we can bring awareness to these subtle shifts that we will notice this change within the breath. Maybe it becomes a little more fluid. Maybe we can begin to inhale or exhale a little bit longer. Maybe we feel the breath begin to move within different parts of the lungs. So just taking a few moments to watch, become aware, and witness the changes taking place with every single breath you breathe. And after the next exhale, we're going to slowly open our eyes. Good. All right, rolling over, coming onto hands and knees. We're going to come into cat-cow. If we have any tender knees, you can always take your rolled up blanket, place that under the knees, let the tops of the feet come to the floor. Wrists coming under the shoulders and fingertips spread wide. Now, even coming here into our neutral spine, I want you to notice, what are we doing? Are we active within this pose, right? Are the feet pressing down? Do we feel this grounding sensation through the parts of the body that are connecting with the mat? How is the core? Is your core active? Are you hugging the sides of the body in towards the midline, activating that lower level transverse abdominis muscles, helping to support the spine? Or are we sort of sagging down? How are the arms? Are the arms active, pressing into the mat, keeping the shoulders and keeping that spine in neutral spine, or are we sort of collapsing within? So actively engaging, finding our setup with the transitions. When we bring awareness, we bring strength, we create control, and through this we also help to prevent injury. And we build proper alignment. So just taking a moment, checking in. Is your core still active? Are you still grounding down? Are you still present in this moment? Are you breathing? Check in with your breath. All right, now we are going to begin with a few rounds of cat-cow. So transitioning from pose to pose with the flow of the breath. So with the inhale, pelvis tilts, belly drops, chest comes through, gaze forward, cow. Pause. Are we still active? Core is supporting the spine. We're pulling the chest through. We're pressing the energy down into the ground as we're reaching the energy out through the chest and out through the sit bones. And then on the next exhale, begin to tuck the tailbone. The navel pulls up to the spine, chin to chest, crown to floor. Check in. Are we protracting the shoulders? Is the core activated? Are we sending energy out through the crown and out down towards the ground through the tailbone? Okay, let's go. Inhaling. Tailbone lifts, belly drops, chest comes through, gaze forward. checking in. Exhaling. Tuck the tailbone, navel to spine, chin to chest, crown to floor, cat. Taking a few rounds. Follow your breath. Stay present. Stay aware. Stay engaged. One more time. Inhaling, coming back to our neutral spine. How are we in neutral spine? Are we active? Are we feeling light? Or are we slouching and crouching down? And then slowly bring the hands back. We're going to bring the heels together. We're going to sit back onto the knees. I'm just going to do a few shoulder rolls to wake up, to begin to wake up the shoulders. So we're going to bring the hands, thumbs back, fingers facing forward. And we're going to move slow and with awareness. So when we inhale, we're going to bring our elbows as close as we can in front of the chest. Bring the elbows up, let them separate, and exhale, rolling them down. Inhale, elbows come as close together as they can in front, lifting up, letting them come out, exhaling them back and down. Check in with your core. Are you still active? Are you supporting the spine? Are you keeping the spine in alignment, or are we maybe arching back to try to get bigger rolls? Keep the lower level ribs in line with the pelvis as we do our shoulder rolls. Let the gaze be forward. Noticing all of the sensations within the shoulder joint as we begin to open and release, create a little bit of movement, a little bit of lubrication. Now reverse with awareness. Inhaling, elbows come back and up. Exhaling, bringing them together or as close as we can in front of the face and lowering them down. Inhale, back and up. Feeling these subtle movements within the shoulders, within the scapulas, the different muscles working, moving. Taking your time to really focus and notice with that focus what happens to the breath. Are you still breathing? How is the breath still moving? How is your alignment? Are we using our core to support? Let's do one more time here. And exhaling down, releasing the arms. Give them a nice little shake. Coming back onto hands and knees. Good. This time we're going to ground, checking in with our alignment. Shoulders over wrists, shins pressed into the ground. Inhale, we're going to kick back through that right heel, lengthen. Noticing here, we're going to have to really activate a bit more of that core. Can we kick out through that heel even more, sending that energy out? Now we're going to reach that left hand out in front, thumb facing up, pressing down, sending the energy down through the right palm, down through the left shin, reaching out through the left fingertips, out through the heel. Can we feel light here? Core is engaged. And then on the exhale, we're gonna bend the right knee in, left elbow to the knee. Inhale, reach out, slow and controlled. Exhale, bending in. Inhale, kick. Exhale, in. Do a couple more rounds, follow your breath. Moving nice and slow, staying present, feeling these sensations. Building our strength. One more. Exhale, lower. Taking a moment to realign. Realign. Use these transitional periods to realign, reconnect, connect with the breath, connect with the strength, engage. Grounding down now into that left hand, right shin. Begin by kicking the left foot back, kicking out through the heel. Try to engage a little bit more, checking in with the core, pulling in our quadricep muscles, supporting the spine. We begin to reach the right arm forward, thumb facing up. Next, exhale, bending, left knee in, right elbow in. Inhale, extend, kick out, reach. Exhale, curl. Even with the curl, we're active, we're engaged. Inhale, extend, fingers out through the fingers, out through the heel. Exhaling, curling and round. Let's do one more. And in here on the inhale, we extend and exhale, lowering down. Good, bring the knees wide, toes come together. Let the hips come back, coming into our child's pose. And let the forehead drop. Now, even child's pose we use often as a transition. Can we remain present and active here? Are the arms reaching forward? Are the palms spread? Fingertips engaged? Pressing down into the mat, letting that forehead come down. Moving with awareness into the breath, moving the breath into the back side of the body. Can we feel the kidneys and the back expand up and out? Exhaling, maybe we can soften a bit more through the hips. Taking a few breaths here, breathing, feeling the side bodies expand, side bodies lengthening, creating that nice length through the spine. As with the exhales, we can relax and release a little bit more into the hips. Taking one more breath here. Inhaling with awareness and keeping the body engaged, we begin to lift back up onto our hands, moving the knees back in, always taking a moment to get our alignment back to where it needs. Body's engaged. We're going to come up into our downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck our toes under. And then on the exhale, ground down. Fingertips are spread wide. We're pressing into every single fingertip. We're going to begin to lift the hips up as we begin to melt the heart in between the shoulders. Let the knees be nice and bent. And then we'll slowly begin to lower one heel at a time. And checking back in, are we pressing down through all of the fingertips? Are the shoulders coming onto the back? Are we melting the heart? Is the gaze between the feet with the crown coming to the floor? Side bodies are long. Is our core engaged? Keeping all of that, are we breathing? All right, let's bend both knees again. Really lift those sit bones up towards the sky. If the hamstrings are a little bit open, maybe you can begin to bring the heels down. If you feel yourself rounding, that's where you know your limit is, and you're just going to stay with the knees bent if you need. Taking another breath here. And then we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. Let the feet be hip width apart. Bend the knees, let the belly rest on the thighs. Grab onto the elbows. Let the body hang. Notice the feet. Are we actively grounding down? Have we found our balance? Are we balancing equally behind the big toe, pinky toe, outer edges of the heels? Is the inner edge of the arch lifting up in the feet? Okay, let's ground down. Slowly rolling the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Releasing the hands down. Inhale. Reaching our arms out and up. Gaze is up. Are we activating our core? Are we grounding down, rooting to rise, reaching the energy out through the fingertips? Gaze is up. Bring the palms together and exhale, lowering down through heart center. Good. We're going to begin with a few rounds of Sun Salutation A. This is a great way to check in, move with the breath, and noticing our transitions. So let's move to the top of the mat. I want you to come into your mountain pose without me cueing. So let's just see how you do. And hold your mountain pose, and I want you to just breathe and really feel it. And then I'm going to start to cue. So the four corners of the feet are grounding. All of the leg muscles are wrapping onto the bone. Imagine we're squeezing our imaginary block between the inner thighs. The corset muscles are working, so outer edges of the core moving in towards the midline. The chest is lifting up towards the sky as we press out through the crown of the head. Inhale, arms reach out and up, look up, extended mountain. Exhale, bending the knees if we need. Tilt the hips forward as we swan dive, leading with the chest, hands and crown to floor, forward fold. Inhaling, hands to shins, gaze forward, halfway lift. How's our core? Are we engaged? Do we feel light? Exhaling, fold, hands come down. Slow and with control, I want you to step that right foot back. Making sure our alignment, left knee over the left ankle, kicking back through that right heel. Are we active? Core is engaged. Gaze is forward. We're coming into our lunge. Drop the hands, step our left foot back into plank. Check in. How's our alignment? Our shoulders over wrists. Our feet are hip width apart. Are we kicking back through the heels? Are we sending the energy down through the palms? Fingertips are spread. How's the core? Do we have a tight, active core, or are we kind of collapsing into the hips? How are the shoulders? Are we collapsing into the shoulders? Or are we pressing down strong? Holding here, one more breath. You can do it. Are you breathing? Good. Exhale. Lower down to the knees. Chest and chin. Tops of the feet to the floor. Belly slides through. Roll the shoulders down and back. Coming into baby cobra. Good. From here, we're going to bring our hands out to the side. So hands will still be in line with the shoulders, but fingertips on the floor. We're going to bring the forehead down to the floor. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Tuck the tailbone so you feel the pubic bone come into the mat. And then with the inhale, you're going to begin to lift the chest and lift the gaze. And then on the exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Now we're going to do that with some shoulder rolls, so rolling our shoulders back. So we're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back as we lift up, and then exhale, spinal wave down as we roll the shoulders down. Good, let's do that a few more times. Maybe you can begin to lift higher with each time that you go. And noticing, are you working with the breath? Are you keeping that bottom part of the body active? Last time, coming down to release, bringing the palms back down by the rib cage so wrists are under the elbows. Next, exhale, you're going to press in, keep the core active. We press back to the knees. We're in our tabletop, we tuck our toes, ground down through the palms and fingertips, lift the hips up, coming into our downward facing dog. Just taking one breath here, noticing, are we active? Pressing into all the fingertips, are they spread? Side body is long, core is engaged. As the heels drop down, thighs lift. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling, coming back down to the knees. Now we're going to work on our step through. This is one of the transitions of getting us back from downward dog into lunge. So first thing I'm going to have you do is you're going to lift that right knee up towards the core. Feel how that activates your core. We need a strong core to step through. And lower back down. We're just gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift, feel the activation. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This is similar to the exercise that we began in the front. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna inhale, lift that knee, bring the right foot forward as we lift that right hand. So we're inhale. Maybe you needed a little help from the hand, that's okay, but look where slow and control, right ankle under the right knee. Drop the hands, kick back through the left heel, coming into our lunge. Once again, we're in our alignment, we're active. Gaze forward. Next exhale, left foot forward to meet the right fold. Inhale, grounding down, rolling the spine up. Arms reaching out and up, coming into our extended mountain. And exhaling, palms together, hands down through heart center. All right, we're going to do the other side. So come into your mountain pose. Be present. Feet are grounded, legs are engaged. Core is wrapping, spine is long. Chest and crown are reaching up towards the sky. Fingers are active, shooting the energy down towards the ground. How's the breath? Inhaling, arms reaching out and up. Keep the shoulders relaxed, lift the gaze. Extended mountain. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Lead with the chest, bend the knees if we need. And the crown and fingers come to floor. Inhaling, hands to shins, gaze forward, halfway lift. How's the core? We should be able to hold here without using the hands. Core is protecting the spine. We are feeling light. As we exhale, we lower down. Slow and control. Bend that left foot up as we step the left foot back, keeping right knee over the ankle. Alignment, kick out through that left heel. Lift the left hamstring towards the ceiling as the hands and the gaze is forward, keeping a nice long back. How are you? Active legs, active thighs, active core. Are we breathing? Dropping the hands, stepping our right foot back into plank. Once again, check in. How's the energy? Are we grounding down through the hands? Or are we collapsing into the shoulders? Are we sending the energy out through the feet? Or are we letting the hips kind of pull us down? Are we activating the core, hugging in through to the midline to support the spine, keep the body here, feeling lightless? We should be able to, hold this forever. One more breath. Exhale, lower with slow and control. Knees, chest, chin. Keep the elbows in by the rib cage. Tops of the feet to the floor. Roll the belly through. Keep the shoulders down and back. Now we're gonna spinal wave, but keeping the hands exactly where they are. So exhale, we're gonna lower the forehead down. Inhale, pressing into the arms. Begin to lift. Reach the heart forward. Keep the shoulders down on the back. If you feel the shoulders coming up, take a moment, lower the spine down a little bit to get the shoulders down and back. And exhale, lower. Making sure tops of the feet are pressing the floor. We're keeping that tailbone tucked, pubic into the floor. Inhale. Maybe we reach up a little bit more. Exhale, lower. Feeling the activation as well within the arms, working the spine. Inhaling, lifting up. Maybe we straighten a little bit more. Exhaling, lower. Good. This time we're going to push back to the knees. So inhale, push back to the knees. Tuck the toes. Lift our hips up, coming into our downward facing dog. Checking in, fingertips spread, pressing down through the fingertips, shoulders coming onto the back. Reach the sit bones up towards the sky, lengthen the spine, activate the core. Heels begin to lower, thighs engaged. One more breath. Exhale, lowering down. Good. This time with the left foot. Bend the left knee up towards the chest. Activate those core muscles. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, bend, curl that left knee up. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhaling, lower. Here we go. This time we're gonna bend it up. Use that core, slow and control. Bring that left foot through. Knee over ankle. Kick up through the right hamstring towards the sky as we kick out through the heel, coming into our lunge. Gaze forward, back straight, core engaged. Are we breathing? And exhale. Right foot forward, hip width apart. Let the crown come to the floor, fold. Grounding down through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, arms reaching out and up. Shoulders relaxed. Look up. Palms touch. Exhaling, hands down through heart center. Good. All right, we're ready. One breath, one move. We're going to go very slow, very controlled, but moving with every breath. Focus on the transition, moving from pose to pose. Keeping the awareness there, keeping the breath fluid, letting yourself live the transition, okay? So coming into our mountain pose, grounding down, thighs engaged, core is active, chest lifts, fingertips shoot the energy down as we press through the crown of the head. Inhaling, arms reach out and up, extended mountain, shoulders down, gaze up. Exhaling, tilting the hips, swan dive forward, leading with the chest, hands and crown to floor, bend the knees if we need. Inhale, hands to shins, gaze forward, halfway lift, core is engaged. Exhaling, coming back down, slow and control, stepping the right foot back into lunge. Dropping the hands, left foot back, coming into plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, down to the mat, inchworm. Inhale, tops of the feet to the floor, belly slides through, roll the shoulders back, press the floor away, coming into cobra. Exhale, press back to the knees, tuck the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. All right, next inhale, drop down to the knees, lift the right knee up, step that right foot forward, knee over ankle, inhale, kick back through the left, gaze forward, lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, hip width apart, crown to floor, fold. Inhale, grounding down, rolling the spine up, reaching the arms out and up, extended mountain. Exhaling, palms together, lowering down through the heart center. Again, other side. Inhale, arms reach out and up, look up, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the chest, hands and crown to floor, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down, hands, stepping, slow and control, left foot back into lunge. Hands drop down, right foot back into plank. Feel light, active, engaged to the lightness. Exhale, drop knees, chest, chin, elbows stay in by the rib cage. Tops of the feet to the floor. Inhaling, belly comes through, shoulders back down the spine, gaze forward, cobra. Exhale, keeping the elbows in, press back to the knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Next inhale, lowering down to the knees. We're gonna lift that left knee, slow and control. Step that left foot through, knee over ankle. Inhale, kick back through the right heel, lunge. Exhale, right foot forward to meet the left, forward fold. Grounding down, rolling up the spine. Inhale, arms reaching out and up, look up. Palms touch, and exhale, hands to heart. Closing the eyes for a moment. Noticing how you feel. Are you still engaged? Are the feet still grounding down? Are the legs still active? Are you still using your core set muscles to support the spine? Are the palms gently pressing into each other? Are you breathing? Is the face relaxed or are you holding tension? Slowly release the hands down and open the eyes. Perfect. Now we're going to do one more round and we're going to be working on the step through. So the step through from downward dog into lunge is one of the harder things to do. So if we're still working from downward dog, we come down to our knees. If we're still working on this, okay, that's what you're going to continue to do. Otherwise, if we're ready to go on to the next step, we're going to have our blocks, just to give ourselves a little bit of height. So first, I just want to show you what the step through is and what I'm talking about. So here we are in our downward facing dog. So if we're going to step through without coming down to our knees, we bend the right knee in, keep it towards the chest as we shift the weight forward and step that right foot through. We need a lot of core strength to do this, correct? So sometimes what we need is a little bit of extra height. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our blocks, put them in whatever height you want. Once again, alignment. You still want shoulders hip width apart. We press down into the blocks. Let the heart melt. So coming into our just normal downward dog. We're going to practice the right side first, okay? So we're going to ground into the left, bend that right knee, bring it into the chest, and shift the weight forward over the hands. And then I want you to press back, ground the right foot, come back into your downward dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, pulling the knee into the chest, bring the weight forward, shoulders over the wrists, and exhaling back down. All right, 3rd time. This time we're going to step it through. So we're going to inhale, knee to chest, shift the weight forward with control. Step that right foot down, reach the chest forward, kick back through that left heel, lunge. Exhale, step that left foot forward in between crown to floor fold. Bending the knees, rolling the spine up, reaching the arms out and up, shoulders relaxed, look up, palms touch. And exhaling, hands to heart. Excellent. How was that? Okay. We're going to do the same thing other side. So keeping your blocks at whatever the height they were. Once again, maybe you need a little bit more height or even the highest. I mean, I'd prefer wherever on the highest one, it might not be that stable depending on what kind of blocks you have. So either the medium height or the lowest level. So we're going to come back down. We'll come into our downward dog from our tabletop. So letting the blocks be hip width apart. Letting the palms rest onto the blocks, under the shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips up, coming into our downward facing dog. Now we're going to work on the left side. So we're going to bend that left knee into the chest, shift the weight forward, shoulders over wrists. And exhale, lift the hips back up, lower that left foot back down. Inhale, bend the knee in, activating the core, using all of that awareness that we've been working on all class. Nice slow movements, keeping the alignment, keeping the muscles engaged, staying present. All right, one more time. This time we're going to step it through. Bending that left knee, shift the weight forward, shoulders over the wrist. Step that left foot in between the hands, knee over ankle, kick back through the right heel as we let the gaze be forward. Exhaling, right foot forward, fold. Grounding down, roll the spine up, reach the arms out and up. Gaze up, sending that energy up, palms touch, and exhale, pulling it down. All right, are we ready? One more round, sun salutations, working on our step through with blocks. If we're still on the knee lift, step through, that's where you are, and that's what you will practice, okay? All right, so coming to the tops of our mat, feet hip width apart, come back into your mountain pose. You know what to do. I'm not going to cue it. Make it come from you. Inhale, arms reach out and up, shoulders relax, look up, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the chest, crown to floor fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, core engaged. Exhaling, fold, hands down, stepping our right foot back into lunge. Drop the hands, left foot back into plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin down to the mat, inchworm. Inhale, tops of the feet to the floor. Belly comes through. Keep the pelvis tucked, so pubic bone into the mat as we come into cobra. Exhale, elbows in, push back to the knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, come into our downward facing dog. All right, everybody's gonna come down to the knees. We're gonna bring our blocks in if we're going for the step through. Otherwise, you're just going to work on lifting the knee and stepping it through from the kneel. From the rest of us, inhaling, come back up into our downward facing dog. All right, shift the weight to the left foot as we bend the right knee in. Bring the shoulders over the wrist, slow and control. Step that right foot through. Let the hips sink, kick back through the heel, lift the chest, gaze forward into lunge. All right, exhale, left foot forward to meet the right, crown to floor fold. Rolling the spine up, inhaling, arms reaching out and up, shoulders relax, look up, palms touch, and exhaling, hands to heart. Excellent, other side, removing our blocks. Coming back into our mountain pose. Awareness, alignment, engaged. Breathe. Next, inhale, arms reach out and up, lift the gaze, extended mountain. Exhaling, tilting the hips, swan dive forward, lead with the chest, crown to floor. Inhale, hands to shins, gaze forward, shoulders back, activate that core. Exhaling, fold, hands come down, slow and control, step that left foot back into lunge. Dropping the hands, right foot back, coming into plank. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, chin, elbows in by the rib cage, inchworm. Tops of the feet to the floor, belly slides through, tucking the pelvis, pubic bone into the mat. Maybe we push up a little bit more. Make sure the shoulders are back and down the spine. Exhale, elbows in by the rib cage, tucking the toes, lift the hips up, coming into our downward facing dog. All right, everybody down to the knees. If we're using our blocks, working on our step through, move the blocks. Moving the blocks to our mat for our hands. Otherwise, we're just working on our lifting the knee and stepping it through. All right, for the rest of us, lifting back up, coming into our downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the knee into the chest, shift the weight, slow and control. Shoulders over wrist, step the left foot through, lower the hips, ground down, knee over ankle, press back, lift the chest, gaze forward, lunge. Exhaling, right foot forward, crown to floor fold. Inhale, rolling up the spine, letting the arms reach out and up, shoulders relax, look up, palms touch. And exhaling, hands to heart. Close the eyes. Notice how you feel. Are you present? Are you engaged? Are you in alignment? If not, make any subtle adjustments that you need. Lowering the hands down and opening the eyes. All right. Excellent. We're definitely building a little heat this morning. Okay, now we're going to come back down to the mat. Coming back to a comfortable seated position. Letting the sit bones ground down. Let the palms rest on the thighs. Just begin to close the eyes. We're going to do just a few rounds of hip circles. So we're going to let our bodies roll from sit bone to tailbone, other sit bone, forward to the pubic bone. And just really noticing the changes and the shifts that happen. And with the top part of the body, I just want you to let you do whatever it is you want to do. And so just notice what that is. Notice how when you change and shift from the bottom part of the hips, what sort of change and shift does that bring within the rest of the body? How does your breath change? Maybe certain parts of the body feel tight. Maybe you want to pause somewhere and breathe into that spot. So taking some moments to notice, but then just getting right back into your flow. And then we're going to reverse directions. Once again, moving as fast or as slow as feels good for you today. And just really letting go, giving in to however the body and the breath want to move right now. And just doing so with awareness. Nice slow movements with whatever feels good. And slowly coming back to center. Removing any flesh from the sit bones if we need. Letting them ground down as the spine lengthens, reaching up through the crown. And once again, returning our gaze to the breath. And we'll end once with our equal breathing. So this is inhaling and exhaling for the same amount of time. So we'll inhale for a count of 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. And then exhaling for the same count. And as you continue with your breath, I want you to let your gaze and your focus be within the spot between the breaths. What happens in that space at the top of the breath before we transition to exhaling and letting go? And what's in that space at the end of the exhale before we breathe new life, new oxygen into the lungs to be passed throughout the bloodstream, circling around before being passed and leaving the body with the exhales. So just continuing with your equal breathing with this particular awareness today to the spots in between the inhales and exhales for a few rounds. And after this next exhale, we'll close with one affirmation to help us embrace change throughout our days. Telling ourselves, I will make plans, but I remain open to other opportunities that will arise. I say yes as often as I can. I make plans, but I will remain open to other opportunities as they arise. I will say yes as often as I can. Bringing the palms together in front of the heart space. Begin to rub the palms, creating heat and energy. Cupping the palms, placing them over the eyes, blinking them open a few times. Running your palms up over along the head, neck, shoulders, arms, core, chest, back, the legs, hips, thighs, all the way down the calves, shins, ankles, feet, toes, into the ground. Sharing your practice, sharing your energy, sending it out into the universe. Inviting change, trusting the universe as well. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me.